Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA, even though I'm in Canada. But with that being said, guys, welcome back to part 3, where we're taking on Tropical Coast, and haha, I got the name right this time. Freaking Sega always mixing their, like, previous zone names, so I get easily confused. But anyways, Tropical Coast, one of the biggest open world stages in the game. I mean, I haven't seen so many paths in a Sonic game in like forever. So, definitely Tropical Coast as a whole definitely influences more of optional paths to take rather than speeding right through. Granted, you could do that, but you'd be missing up on a lot of optional things. There's so many places to go, so many things to destroy. It's crazy. You can go on top of water geysers, you can ride these weird purple chicken machine things that you'll be seeing later on. And to tie it up for this beach theme, you got your old school classic reggae music, something you actually don't really hear that much in Sonic game, but it's pretty awesome to listen to. I love this track, along with some of the other tracks we'll be hearing in this world. But alright, now we're going to take a completely new perspective of the Drill Wisp. Remember back in part 2 when I said the 3D Wisp was a completely different animal? Well, pretty much is. This thing controls like crap, I'm gonna be honest here. I like the concept of it. I mean, you're pretty much a yellow submarine. Haha, Beatles. But, you know, seriously, this thing could have been controlled. The controls just suck. I'm trying to get this stupid life, it won't even go down. But a major hallelujah for completionists and just people who want to get through the game in general. That section is completely optional. And there's no red rings to worry about either, so thank God. Along with, that's the only 3D Drill Wisp section in the whole game as well, so, you know, I guess Sega was just trying to play around with something, but hey, at least it's only for one brief moment. Because it really would have sucked if they dedicated actual levels to it. Apparently the 3DS version does that, but I wouldn't know because I haven't played the 3DS version. And I don't judge games unless I actually played them myself, but I've heard some, you know, mixed views on that version of the game. Also, something that I just finished playing around with was, did you guys see that big purple pufferfish chicken-looking robot thing? That's just something, a little cool thing that Sega threw in the game. Basically, you don't even need it for any completion thing. I just wanted to show it off. It's just this big robotic thing that you can use to crush all the egg pawns and the other badniks in the game. Once again, it really doesn't serve too much purpose other than just killing stuff, but hey, you know, it's kind of really fun. It's actually very similar to a Wisp in the game that is completely optional other than the fact we're going to need it to do some missions. And it's the Black Bomb Wisp, basically. And it works in the same way. It's basically this big circular looking thing that you try to crush things with it, and eventually it explodes. In fact, it's almost exactly the same as that big purple pufferfish thing. But I'll get more into that when we talk about the missions. And that was some nice wall jump skills by me. Granted, look how huge this level is. It's just, there's so many paths you can take. I really do like it. The fact that you never know what you're gonna expect the next time you play through the level again. So what I always liked about Sonic games, the optional paths you can take. And look at all of these barrels, these toxic barrel things. Reminds me a lot of Crash Bandicoot. Randomly in the level too, in a beach. But hey, I'm not complaining. Here's one of the cloud jumping sections in the game. These sections, they really aren't really Sonic-y. They kind of slow down the pace a lot, along with the a lot of other things in the game. I don't mind it. It's just I think they overuse it to some extent now. Granted, this is not the last time we'll ever be seeing a section like this in the game, but you know. This is also one of the best places to grind. Look how many freaking 1-up capsules there are in this level. Also, fun fact, that red ring I just got, that's the only red ring capsule in the whole game. So make sure to grab it because it's really easy to miss. Geronimo! Dang it. I missed it. But that's Tropical Coast Act 1, folks. One of my favorite stages in the game. Just so many paths to take. I'm always encouraged to keep playing that level just to see what alternate routes there are. Great level. I love it.
Alas, poor Cubot.
To be or not to be Cubot? That is the very obvious question. Poor Cubot. He goes pretty much only with a head for the rest of this game. The only thing I didn't like about it is I don't like the fact that they reused his pirate voice chip in this game. I would have liked something different. You know, since this game likes to do so many stereotypes, why didn't they give him like a Jamaican voice or something, you know? I was like, yo, Eggman! Why you such a bummerclot, mom? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm specifically sorry to the Jamaicans who are watching this. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, please forgive me. Never again. But anyways. Anyways, at this point of the game, Sonic pretty much tells Eggman to screw off, and he'll be able to take care of the Zeddy himself. Which, if they're anything like we've been facing so far, is pretty true, because they're piss easy. Speaking of which, actually, we'll be facing another new one in the next world. Once again, it's one of Sonic Team's creative choices in terms of level design. But I tend to like this one more than the auto-scrolling. And oh boy, now I have to get rid of all these items. The sucky thing about items in this game is that if you go over the certain amount, which is 5, the game will always ask you to remove those items, and it gets really annoying. God bless the people that have Miiverse on, because they're going to just be getting loads and loads of item messages to the point where you're going to get really annoyed. Basically, after every level ends, it happens. Zomom's still eating the sandwich. Alright, so this guy's name is Master Zik. Or Zik, or Zeke, I don't know. Yeah, Master Zik. He's basically the Yoda of this game, if, you know, Yoda was a complete and total asshole. With wisdom, to boot. Wow, what a Kung Fu Panda moment to hear. I'm assuming Zomom and Master Zik's relationship is somewhat similar to Po and Shifu's from Kung Fu Panda. You know, it's kind of like that. I mean, you have the Deadly Six. You know, it's like it's Master Zik and the Deadly Five. Someone who does fan art. Someone do that right now. Make like a movie poster, and Po could be like Big the Cat or something. Anyways, this level, Act 2, basically, the main gimmick of it is to basically put fruits into blenders. Yeah, I know, it doesn't seem too fun, but at least it creates a cool visual effect as well. This is definitely one of those levels where you don't really think about, whoa, apple attack, where speed doesn't exactly come to mind. Oh, and yes, the Rocket Wisp, one of my favorite wisps in both the original colors and this game. And now we have 3D integration in the mix, so now you can pretty much aim where you want to go, instead of just hoping something good's up above in the sky. So, oh, I see a red ring, let's go for that planet. So generally, I don't have too much to say in terms of this level. It's basically, as I said before, just rolling fruits into big, huge-ass blenders. Like this watermelon right here. We're going to have to escort it into the blender to make a big fruit geyser of juice to get to the next level of the game. But you know what, if there's something else that comes up on screen, I'll refer to it if I ever encounter it. But I want to address something that's currently in the Sonic news. Because for those who want to know, I'm currently recording this right after hearing everything about Sonic Boom. And I know people are already going to be asking me about my opinions on the game, and I'll just shoot it right now. Character design-wise, Tails and Knuckles, not Knuckles, sorry. Tails and Amy look exactly the freaking same. All they got was like a costume upgrade. So Amy lost the old school dress, and Tails pretty much got like some goggles and a new tool belt. So as I said before, mostly just costume designs rather than the actual change of appearance for the character. But Sonic and Tails, that's where the real big changes came from. I mean, Sonic looks a little bit different, a little bit taller. More blue arms, that's pretty much the green eyes of this era now. But I'm completely fine with his design, personally. The only thing I really wish they didn't do was cover his shoes in sports tape in particular. Because I'm pretty fond of his shoe design, but other than that, Sonic's pretty cool still in my book. And Knuckles is the big real change of this level, you know. He's literally now the bro do you even lift kind of character. His character design is a bit questionable. I'd be okay with his, like, manliness and his buff chest. But I just really wish they didn't make him so tall in comparison to the others, because he just stands out like, you know, like a freaking... He just stands out, okay? But anyways, let's get back to the game now, because we're actually be facing the first phase for Master Zeke. Or Zik, whatever. And you would think a big master, or Kung Fu master, would be so hard to beat, or at least a little bit challenging, correct? No. You know what the gimmick is for this boss fight? All you gotta do is wait for him to get his big-ass apple into this big-ass blender. That's pretty much it. You know, where the frick is he? Yes, come at me, Zeke. Oh yeah. Look at all the juice flowing out. And this is starting to sound really dirty. So I'm gonna shut up now. But yeah, like, look, all I'm doing now is just waiting for him. He's constantly running back to the geyser, but he has no chance of survival because he's just piss easy. And you know, I actually feel somewhat bad now, because I just pretty much kicked an old man's ass. We didn't really even stand a chance, even though he supposedly had mystic powers of some sort. And there goes the heater again. Actually, interesting thing about the Zeddy in general, towards the release of this game, Sega was actually giving small character bios of each and every Zeddy in the game. And apparently, all the Zeddy in this game are over 100 years old. I mean, Zomom and Zaz and Zavik, for example, are about like in their 120s to their 140-ish range. And of course, Master Zeke is like really old, so he's actually over 1,000 years old. So I don't know, maybe it was in like Zeddy years or something. But yeah, it's just a little interesting thing, I guess. But they don't really, you know, elaborate on much in the game. So now we're actually coming across one of my favorite unique design choices by Sega in terms of level design. I actually do like this next level coming up. But I believe we have another cutscene. Yes. Well, he definitely has enough potential to kick your ass one more time. So yeah, at this point in the game, the Zeddy pretty much take over Eggman's random blackout headquarters. I mean, where the heck is this place anyways? Just some random black room. You know, considering that Eggman has like a big TV in this freaking room, this is like some sort of Hunger Games kind of thing right here. You know, Eggman probably has cameras in every badnik and every tree and every part of the Lost Hex, tracking Sonic's like every move. Well, now it's accessible through the Zeddy, but still. Anyways, yes, instead of harnessing the Mountain Dew energy for Eggman's mechs, all the Zeddy wants to do with it is make themselves more powerful with it. But as we all know, there's a high price to pay for taking away all that Mountain Dew energy. Besides, you know, the sugar and the sodium levels, which are pretty catastrophic apparently for Mountain Dew. But enough talk about the plot. Let's talk about this stage, which is one of my favorite kind of, I guess you can say, gimmick stages in the game. I guess you can also say it's really on rails. I'm funny, okay? But anyways, first things first, the music. Amazing. Hands down the best track in the game. I need some clarification here from the audience here, but am I the only one who studies to video game music or does like homework while in the process of doing, you know, annoying tasks, especially relaxing themes? I always tend to listen to Sonic music, Final Fantasy, a lot of other platforming gaming series, you know, Zelda as well, and a lot more, to be honest, but I can't really mention all on this part. But basically, the reason why I bring this up is because this track in particular is a track I've been listening to very recently when it comes to studying or doing homework. It's very relaxing. I love this theme. Second point I want to make about this level is that visually, it might be the best looking level in the game. There's only one other level that I can think of that might take the cake, but besides that, this might be the best looking level in the game, visually speaking anyways. And thirdly, the reason why I like this level is because it really reminds me of Donkey Kong Country. Of course, I'm referring to the minecart sections where you were literally on rails as well. And I always remembered those parts in those games because they were so challenging and they really required you to get the jumping right down. This first level I'm playing right now isn't that hard, to be honest. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. But generally, there's one level that might prove me wrong later down the line in this game. But basically, it's very much like the minecart sections of Donkey Kong Country. So that's something I don't mind. Like, I don't mind when games tend to borrow from other game series. Like, I actually like the aspect of this. Some people might not like the fact that Sonic's just grinding one rail throughout this whole stage, but there's been previous Sonic games that's always done that, like Sonic Heroes. Sonic Adventure 2 kind of got into that toward the final stages, like Final Rush and Final Chase for Shadow. Actually, no, not Final Chase, sorry. But yeah, lots of things popping right at you right here. And man, it's such a perfect formula. Like, the graphics are good, the music is good. In my opinion, the level design is pretty good as well. Really reminds me of those challenging Donkey Kong games. This one isn't that challenging though, but there's going to be a second harder version we're going to be doing later down the line in this game. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this level. Well, that was actually pretty quick. But yeah, you can get all the red rings if you know where you're going. Keep in mind that every time before I record each part, I tend to memorize the locations of all the red rings so I don't get confused. And here's Amy and Knuckles. I actually forgot they were in this game. It's also kind of weird to see Knuckles that small after looking at the Sonic Boom photos. Oh my gosh. I'll get more into my opinion of that, by the way, later in this part. But yeah, anyways, the so-called price to pay with the Mountain Dew was that it's going to suck away all the energy from Sonic's world. So basically, while the Lost Tech seems fine and dandy, basically Sonic's world is getting screwed over and everything's dying. Oh, the wildlife, it's going by. You know, it's really weird, but Sega always likes to do the CG animations when it comes to destruction scenes. Like, it's the same applied for Unleashed, 06, and Sonic Colors. Remember when in Sonic Colors when Eggman's big, what was it called? Like, his amusement park was getting destroyed. Sega decided to do a CG animation of that one as well. It's like, wow. Sega really wants to make you know, an all-out destruction movie. I'd see that. I'd pay for that first day. Anyways, here's the last level in Tropical Resort. I mean, Coast, dang it! Okay, so now we're gonna face off with Master Zik once more. Lesson in respect. Yeah, I do feel guilty for kicking her ass so easily. Yeah, you're gonna get old-schooled. Pops. Yoda, Shifu, wannabe. Yeah, I really wish this boss, like, the bosses just had so much more potential in the game. Granted, there's a few good ones. Don't worry, they're not all crap. It's just towards the very end of the game. So this is, once again, this track really reminds me of Mario. Maybe because I was playing Sunshine a lot recently, but you know. As you can see, the level design is kind of looking a lot like Mario Galaxy with the planets. Anyways, remember how in Act 2 we were running away and guiding the fruit to the destination? Now we get to control it. We're using SpongeBob's Pineapple Home to move all the enemies away this time. More use of the Rocket Wisp right here. Yes, Ring Planet. More rings. But generally, the Rocket Wisp can be used to skip major portions of both Act 2 and Act 4, like I'm going to be doing right now. So you don't have to go through that balloon. You can actually just, boom, skip right here. And free falling into it. Whoa, yes! Saved by the bell. But generally, for most of the wisps in this game, some of them are actually mandatory to use in order to progress through the game. Unlike Colors, I believe, which were completely optional. So, for example, the Rocket Wisp, there's no way to progress through this level without having the Rocket Wisp. I'm pretty okay with this. It doesn't really bother me that much, as long as you don't have to rely on it to the point where it becomes repetitive. But once or twice, I don't really mind. So here's another 2D portion of Tropical Resort. No, Coast! Dang it! I always mess it up. Can you really blame me, though? And Coconuts! Gotta watch out for his nuts. Ever since 1992 in Sonic 2, he's been the world's most annoying enemy. Well, not really. You just gotta watch out for his nuts. But anyways, I guess I'm going to go back into my Sonic Boom impressions because I don't really have much to say regarding this level. But yeah, character design-wise for Sonic Boom, it doesn't really bother me. It's just Knuckles is going to take a while to get used to, definitely. But, you know, what can you do? In terms of both the TV show and the video game, I'm personally looking more forward to the game than the TV show, just because I'm more of a gamer than a TV show watcher these days. As the days progress, I watch less and less TV. But, you know, that's just me. But I'm looking forward to the TV show. Of course, I'm going to have to be watching it because, you know, I'm a Sonic fan. Gotta watch everything, you know. Gotta go fast. But I'm looking forward to it. Not as much as the game. Because the game actually is going to be created by completely different game developers. In fact, some of the people that worked on both Jak and Daxter and Uncharted are going to be actually playing around with it. Which is pretty cool because the game actually takes a lot from the design aspect of those games. Like when I first saw the Sonic Boom trailer, it looked a lot like if it came right from a Jak and Daxter game. It also looked like somewhat a mix between New Super Mario Bros. Wii or Super Mario 3D World, along with Ratchet and Clank All for One. They looked very similar to that, so I'm looking forward to it. I definitely plan to do a playthrough of that game with the guys. But basically, my impressions of Sonic Boom as a whole is that I'm looking forward to both the game and the show, and I won't judge it until I played or seen both. End of story. So here's the final phase for Master Zik. All he does is he adds a shield to himself of fruit, and he tries to avoid it, but then again, you can always jump over it. I'll give him credit for this. At least it's one of the more longer-lasting boss battles in the game. It doesn't just end in 10 seconds like every other boss battle in the game. But yeah, anyways, where is he? Oh, there he is. Get out of here, Master Zik. Ain't nobody got time for your fruit ninja crap. He also, oh wow, he actually takes 3 hits instead of 2. Well, that took a while to like bump up the difficulty in that sense, but he's still pretty easy. But he gets the credit of that, I guess. Well, and now let's finish him off. Where are you? Come at me, bro. Come at me, Zik. Now he's got this Dragon Ball Z balls firing at me. Get out of here, ain't nobody got time for that. Actually, a lot of the Sonic series in general is inspired by Dragon Ball Z concepts. I'm just saying. Anyways, that will be the last for Tropical Coast. And like with every other part, I'll just showcase the circus and we'll call it wraps for this part. Oh, this is actually one of my favorite cutscenes, just because of Eggman's lines in general. Ooh, what kind of ways, Doctor?
What was it designed for?
Exactly. Well, I actually never noticed that before. You know, that was some good body language comedy. Some slapstick humor right over there. You know, me being a drama major, you know, sometimes it's better to just use body language to, like, use humor in games. Instead of just using, you know, random generic lines. And that was actually really funny. I never noticed that between, like, the little chain with Eggman to Cubot to Orbot. That was pretty funny.
So, there's no off switch?
No, there's no off switch because that would be too freaking easy. So now this is, I guess, the point of the game where we're kind of forced to work with Eggman. And I like how pretty much Sonic makes it a big deal in this game. Man up, Tails. Yes, Tails. Be a man. Do the right thing. But yeah, anyways, Sonic and Tails pretty much have to work with Eggman. And Sonic makes a big deal out of it, even though it's not the first time you're working with him. Like, pretty much in every 3D Sonic game, sooner or later, Eggman works with Sonic. You know, in Sonic Adventure, as soon as Chaos betrays him, Eggman is somewhat working with Sonic. In Sonic 2, when the Bio-Lizard comes out of nowhere, he's working with Sonic. Sonic Heroes with Metal Sonic. You know, it just keeps going on and on. It's like when Eggman sees the first sign of danger, he comes quickly to Sonic. It always happens, sooner or later. But yeah, anyways, I'm just going to showcase the circus, and we're done here. This felt particularly long, all these levels. Oh, yeah, never mind. I forgot about the bonus stages. Just a sec. But yeah, the bonus stages in this game, there's basically 2 bonus stages in this whole game. What I'm talking about right now, by the way, is the question marks. And basically, I'm not sure what they do, or if they even unlock anything in general. But for the sake of completionism, we must do it. So there's 2 bonus levels in the whole game. This is the first one. I guess this is the real definition of free falling level in the game. Or you can just call it falling with style. So basically the objective here for these levels, since we don't have to worry about red rings, all you gotta worry about is surviving and making sure you don't die. What I'm doing right now is, first of all, if you don't hold down the jump button, you'll just shoot straight up to the sky. To go down like I'm doing right now, you just have to hold down the jump button accordingly, depending on what death traps lie ahead. So the longer you hold it, of course, the longer you'll bounce down to the screen. Now, if you go on top of the screen, you won't die, but like in traditional Sonic sense, if you do go to the bottom of the screen, you will die, even though you're kind of floating in midair, but I don't know the logic behind that, okay? Don't ask me. You know, as a bonus level, I don't really mind this stage, but the bad thing about it is that they bring it back for one of the later stages in the game, so it kind of makes it feel redundant and not that special or unique after you played it the first time. But yeah, whoa, flying purple pufferfish in midair now. But yeah, I really like it as a bonus level. As I said before, it's okay. I just, as you know, to make it one of the main stages in the game, and it's not that fun, give or take. To get past this thing, you just have to shimmy down low for the first part of it. Anyways, we'll actually be facing that later down in the game, so don't think you'll ever have to face him ever again. And that's pretty much that, folks. As I said before, I'm not sure what the bonus levels do in terms of unlocking anything, but hey. So this is going to be the last circus I show, at least until the very end parts of this playthrough. Mainly the reason why that is because for the future worlds, they pretty much reuse the same mini games we've already saw throughout the previous parts. So right here is the last version for which I just messed up right now. This is the last version for the circus. Basically, we need both Sonic and Tails to run it this time, since it's like a teeter-totter. And in my opinion, this is the hardest controlling mini game in the game. Just for this, but if you're really good at it, you can get some pretty good angle shots at it, and you can release a lot of animals. I just personally suck at controlling it, because you always have to make sure Tails and Sonic are at the very end of both the teeter-totter, so you can launch yourself pretty high, and you have a really slow startup if you mess up. So it's just really hard to get the hang of it, in my opinion. But yeah, these are the only 3 types of circus mini games in the whole game. So it's just the trampoline, the cannon, and now the teeter-totter. Anything else is just a variation in terms of the balloon patterns and the layouts. So that'll be it for this part, guys. It was a pretty long part, but as expected, the levels are just going to keep getting longer and longer. So stay tuned for the next part, where we'll be doing Frozen Factory. Stupid lightning shield. It was pretty much saying grab me, so I had to grab it. Anyways, see you in part 4.